How's it going, everybody? Today we are with an extra special guest on the SPEAKHYVE Podcast. As you know, I'm your host, Jared Scott, and today I got a friend of mine with me. His name is Timmy the Dreamer. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Jared, great to be here, man. My name's Timmy the Dreamer. I am a youth motivational speaker on a mission to give a speech in every single state of schools across the country. Just did state number 16 yesterday. Drove 5 hours to Dallas today, and I'm excited to talk to Jared and all of you about what I've learned on this journey and the mission that we're on across the country.
All right, so Timmy, I've known of you for a while because you've done some incredible things across the country. You have literally helped raise millions of dollars to make people's dreams come true, and that's why they call you Timmy the Dreamer.
I feel like when you're a kid, you have a dream, but you're not thinking about it too consciously. Like for me, it was like basketball.
Yeah.
Right? That was all I wanted to do. You're a hooper too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
So that was it, right? Like 11 months out of the year, you're playing basketball. Your dream is to go to the NBA. You know, most kids have a dream if I want to go NBA, MLB, NFL, musician, right? Whatever, right? You're just doing what you love. You're not overthinking it. Right. And, you know, by the time I got to high school, realized that I was 5'8" at the time, couldn't touch rim.
I wasn't going to say anything, but, you know.
I was nice, but you realize, like, okay, I'm a big believer in anything is possible, but at the same time, like, that chapter of my life was coming to an end. And I think from there, you just kind of start checking the boxes then, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, now it's like the message of, okay, it's time to grow up. You start looking around. Everybody else around you has a plan. Okay, they're going to college, so I'll go to college. Okay, business school, like internships. You're just starting to check the boxes, but you're not really, the energy is different. Mm-hmm. It's not like, oh my God, I love this. It's like, okay, what is everybody else doing? Okay, they're going, okay, I'll do that. Okay, what did my dad do? Okay, what makes me feel like people won't think I'm a failure? Okay, and you're looking around and you're starting to make all these steps. And, you know, I knew pretty early in college that this path that I was on, I deep down had this gut feel like this isn't for me. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm joining the investment banking club and I'm like gonna go work for Goldman Sachs, you know, like all this stuff, right? And looking at me now, it's like crazy to imagine. But dude, I was good at math. So, you know, that's all they tell you. Oh, you're good at math, you should work in finance. Like that's the career path jump, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm a junior in college, about to enter into my senior year when basically, you know, the downfall started of that vision of life, which was, you know, I got back to my room one day, and I'll never forget this day because I never experienced something like this in my life. You know, I'd always been a pretty happy guy. Mm-hmm. Even when the basketball dream ended, I still felt like my general energy was remotely positive about life. Mm-hmm. And I get home and I'm laying in bed, and it was the first time in my life where basically like my whole body just freezes. Yeah. And I'd never felt anxiety in my life, and it was this weight on my chest, this weight on my stomach, this like I can't move type feeling. Yeah. I'm supposed to hang out with my friends that night. They're calling me, and I'm literally just like laying in bed, like trying to catch my breath, trying to breathe, and this anxiety, I still experience it to this day. 8 years later, it's still a part of my life. But for that first year and a half, I didn't know how to deal with it. Mm-hmm. And I'm realizing now in retrospect that it was like the universe's way of yelling at me, saying like, you're on the wrong path. It literally like forced me to stop and look at everything and be like, my entire life is heading in the wrong direction. Yeah. So it was that moment right before my senior year of college that I grabbed this piece of paper, and I call it the day I signed a lifetime contract with my dreams. But I literally wrote down, more importantly, like the individual dream, I like recommitted to being a dreamer, which we've talked about. Yeah. Like I recommitted to, okay, yeah, NBA dream didn't work out, but it doesn't mean that dreams aren't possible. It means that dream was there for a reason to set me up actually for something bigger that I just couldn't see at the time. Yep. So I recommitted to this, like, I'm gonna go after my dreams. I write this paper down, I sign it, I put it on my wall, and I go into my senior year of college, and my dad hated me, but I said, Dad, I'm sorry, I'm not applying to any jobs. I'm not gonna go after any of these corporate, you know, like finance jobs. I'm just going to see what it looks like if I finish school and just run in the direction of what feels exciting to me and see what happens. And that was really the beginning of intentionally being a dreamer.
You know, you had a bunch of cognitive dissonance because you were pretending to be somebody you weren't. So you had contradicting beliefs in your brain. Here's this person my dad wants me to be. Here's this person my mom wants me to be. Here's the person the world wants me to be. And then the person that I wanted to be, it was like that NBA dream was over. So that seemed like it died, you know, to yourself in a way. So there's an ego death there. Who you thought you were was gone.
Dude.
And that's why you had that panic, anxiety attack. Now, anxiety comes from uncertainty, and it's your body's response to fear, right? And so you're sitting there looking into the unknown at this point, back to square one. Doesn't mean anxiety goes away. Like you said, it's still here 8 years later. Like, it doesn't go away because it's our body's trigger response to the uncertainty of the world.
Yeah.
But a dreamer is someone who sees beyond the current circumstances, right?
Yeah.
And so when you invited dreams back into your life, it brought comfort to you that things were possible. It gave you a vision forward. A visionary is the same thing as a dreamer, right?
Yeah.
And you mentally live as if that's going to happen now.
Yeah.
And that's the state of mind that you live in, not the uncertainty of what if, right?
Yeah.
And that's able to propel you forward. And that's what you've been doing.
Yeah.
That's what I think you preach to kids about that, basically, right?
I have them close their eyes.
Yeah.
Literally in the middle of the speech, I got these kids in the middle of Oklahoma,
Yeah.
middle of nowhere, right? Closing their eyes and being like, dude, you can see it before it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, it's already done.
You know-
Time just hasn't caught up yet, right? Like, time's just getting there.
Exactly.
Right? And that's but dude, touching on the dissonance real quick, I actually had never really told this story. I literally had two characters because I changed my name from Timmy to Tim when I was like in this like corporate era.
Yeah.
If you would see a photo of me, you'd laugh, dude.
Yeah.
My hair is different, how I dress is different. And the reason why I started calling myself Tim was because I would introduce myself as Timmy at this internship.
And it seemed...
And everybody was like, Timmy?
Timmy? Yeah.
Timmy? Timmy? And so finally I was like, fine, my name's Tim.
Yep.
And then it was the day I met Charlie when he was like, why do you call yourself Tim? And I was like, dude, I don't even know. And it was literally the day I met Charlie, he said that, he goes, you're a Timmy. And I'm like, I know. And then I went home, I went back to our hotel that night and I sat down and it was like that first night on the road with Charlie when I was like, dude, Timmy the Dreamer. And that's when I actually created that character for myself because I was like, it was kind of like a thing I wanted to embody, you know?
Yeah.
So I literally was like, Tim is dead. Like I'm getting rid of that person that I don't really want to be, and I'm going to bring this guy who's been kind of shoved down to the front. And so anyways, like that literally was like a moment where I was like, I'm getting rid of that, you know, that person.
I had one too, man. I had an alter ego in my early 18 to 25 stage where you're figuring yourself out. And the cool part about that is your brain's still developing, so the neuroplasticity of your brain is very moldable. And at 28, it starts to harden. So as you get older, you start to hardwire your brain into a personality, a collective set of beliefs and morals that you have, right?
Yeah.
But before that, you do go through so many stages of being different people and personas, and they usually are based on your environment, right? So who you hang around is important. You meet somebody like Charlie, and it changed you, literally. So you changed your name, and you changed your perspective of life. And so tell me about that stage in your life. So you meet Charlie, this is in Los Angeles, or where are you at this point?
This is in the Midwest.
Okay.
So I finished school and do the heroic move of moving back in with my parents.
Okay.
And then that was like basically the point when I was just throwing stuff at the wall, right? I knew that I had this like feeling of I wanted to help people with their dreams. And truthfully, that came from a group of friends I had in my life. So in that phase where I'm like transitioning out of who I was, that also meant like the people that I was surrounding myself with who were all also on that path, there started to become like this disconnect, right?
Yeah.
And so you're kind of like, for the first time in my life, lonely.
Really alone.
I'm like, dude, I was president of my fraternity, captain of my basketball team, hundreds of friends, and now the first time in your life, you're like, dude, I'm looking around like, where are my people at? Like, I'm on
so
this.
hold up. You say when you change your life and you change your ways, you're going to lose some friends.
For sure.
Of course. Right.
For sure. And it doesn't have to be these like hard cutoffs. Like those are still homies I can call, but it's like energetically you realize at some point, oh man, like I'm not gonna like call that guy to hang out on a Friday night anymore.
Yep.
I'm not gonna. It's for me it was more that. It wasn't as like this like these guys are gone because they're good dudes, but it was more I'm going this way and they're going that way.
You had a different aim.
For sure.
If you want to be exceptional, you have to be the exception.
For sure. So I ended up meeting this group of guys who had kind of known my whole life, but we were all simultaneously at this phase of our life We started to meet up on these Monday nights, and we would literally talk about our dreams. We call ourselves the Daydreamers. And that, through those first couple Monday nights, is when I realized, like, this is my life path. That was literally in 2018. And I was like, this is it. Like, creating community and spaces for people to chase their dreams. Because I realized, I think a lot of people don't go after their dreams because they don't want to do it alone. They feel like they don't have that community, that support. That's why what you're doing at SpeakHYVE is so awesome, right? People want to feel like they're going on the journey with other people.
Yeah.
So at that very early stage, that seed was planted for me. So then fast forward, when I graduate college, I had the idea of, okay, we didn't learn how to chase our dreams in school. What if I started a new field of study, dreamology?
Yeah.
So that idea was birthed in 2019. I created a podcast. I'm getting like 20 views an episode. No idea what I'm doing. Nobody from Minnesota is making content in 2019. I mean, it's terrible, right? But that journey then led me to a moment where I'm interviewing a guy, one of my worst interviews of all time. The guy basically said a whole bunch of nothing for an hour, and I was just looking at him like, I didn't even ask a question, right? He's just talking for like an hour, and you're like nodding your head. And at the end, he's like, you know what, young buck? I'm gonna give you some advice. And I go, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, you've got to find somebody who's doing what you want to do and just learn from them. And I was like, well, that seems like a pretty obvious advice, but like really powerful, because like he's like, yeah. I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
So I go online, I'm scrolling social media, and I find Charlie. Find a guy who's traveling the country in an RV called the Dream Machine, literally making dreams come true for people in need. Dreamer sponsoring the tour, a social media app to connect people on their dreams. And I'm like, I gotta meet this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, all right, what do I do next? Okay, sure, I could like try to do a virtual interview, but I'm like, okay, where's he gonna be? Oh, he's gonna be in Milwaukee, 6 hours from me? Call my brother, Tyler. We're driving 6 hours. We're gonna meet this dude. Bring your camera. We're gonna volunteer our time. We're just gonna like show up and just provide help to this guy. We show up, Tyler's filming, I'm helping set up for his events. He's looking at us like, who are these guys, right? Like, why are they here? Why are they, like, what are they doing, right? We're doing all this work, like, I'm tying these balloons. We're doing like manifestation balloons that we're like releasing into the, we're just there, right? And by the end of the event, we're the last ones there. And he's like, who are you guys? And I was like, dude, this is who I am. This is my story. It's what I care about. And basically, my brother and I ended up making a video for him that weekend. We post it, it goes viral for him, and like 3 days later, after we had left Milwaukee, he calls us and was like, guys, if you want to join me on the rest of this tour across the country, meet me in Chicago in 5 days. So we hang up the phone, pack our bags, unpaid by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Unpaid.
Yeah.
Let's go. Hop on the Dream Machine, and then that was supposed to be 3 months. It turned into 3 years. Where basically, when we met him, he had like 100,000 followers, and then in those 3 years, we ended up going from 100,000 to 9 million. We raised about $5 million for kids in need, 1,000 dreams come true for kids with cancer, homeless people, single mothers, kids with disabilities. Ended up doing stuff with Oprah, and then Jake Paul, and then Mr. Beast, and then lived in a content house in Hollywood Hills. And I mean, it was a movement of using social media for social impact, very much like modern day Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
And it was all about how do we build this community to support each other's dreams. And I ended up being his manager. I managed our team of 10 people, and that's working for him. It was like a cheat code, because he knew what greatness looked like. He had managed some of the biggest music artists in the world, as you know, Nike commercials, Grammys, Emmys. The guy, his standard of success was here. So it was like, you're either gonna meet me there or you're gonna get out. And that was hard, but eventually I got through that boot camp to where I was like, okay, like now we're really doing it. And I mean, it was amazing. There was probably 2021, 2022 was like, I mean, some of the most incredible years of my life, and that stretch of what we did was, I'll never forget. It was incredible. So that whole era is what then kind of set up today and what's happening.
I think that's where
now.
you found your true dream, like
For
your
sure.
personal dream.
For sure.
Because
And
maybe
what it
there was
looked
a
like.
point where you were like, okay, I'm helping somebody else achieve their dream, which is
sure.
great, so I can learn.
For sure.
But then you found your own vision.
For sure.
When you were on top of that mountain.
And I thought that maybe I could fit my dreams into his mission,
Yeah.
right? There was a part of me that was like, oh, this vision's big enough to where I can build dreamology and all this stuff within his vision. And that was the plan until
Whoa, hey, hold up.
things started
that's
to go.
a big deal. There's definitely some people watching right now that they've been working for or with somebody for a long time, and they have this thought in the back of their mind that one day they could maybe put their thing into that. And they may be at a crossroad like you, man, where it's like, hey, at some point you have to bet on yourself too. You know, so what was that wake up moment for you?
It was a really hard conversation, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you avoid it for a while?
My mind didn't even entertain it for a while because I'm such a like all in kind of guy that leaving what we were doing or stepping away from it didn't even like cross my mind consciously. But it's pretty wild because about a month before we had the conversation, I go back to my journal and I'm reading, and I was defeated. I don't even remember writing this. I wrote down, I don't know if my dreams of building community are ever going to happen. I don't know if my dreams of really helping change education are ever going to. I literally was like writing this stuff down as if like I'm defeated. Because in that moment, I kind of knew that it was all kind of smoke and mirrors, meaning like, I know Charlie cared about me. I know he cared about my mission, but he never cared enough about it to actually put a tangible plan in place to make it a part of what we were doing. But his little words of, we're gonna do it someday, we're gonna do, you know, it kept me going. And the excitement of what we were doing kept me going until eventually the honeymoon phase ends, problems start to come up, and you get to the point where you're like, I've gotta have a conversation for multiple reasons. Going to that conversation, I had no intentions of leaving, and after that conversation, it was basically immediate because I realized in that moment those ideas and what we wanted to do, what I wanted to do, it wasn't going to happen. So it was kind of like you're dating someone wants kids, someone doesn't.
Yeah.
We love each other, we can keep going, but
somebody's got to lose.
There's a split, you know, something's going to happen, and so it was obvious to me in that moment that we wanted different things.
How hard was it to start over after you'd already climbed a mountain and now you're at the base of another one?
Brother. I've been emotional. I told you, man, I cried in bed last night.
That's
like,
what this is about.
Dude.
Letting it out.
It was, I actually remember, because I just told you this, I left Los Angeles. We were living in a home in Bel Air. When I left, I had 4 to 5 job offers from other influencers, big brands, come work for us, we'll give you equity. I moved back to Plymouth, Minnesota, back in with my parents, because I was like, I need to get out of this world. I need to step out and like reconnect with myself. And I remember literally going to the Verizon store with my mom. I'm doing like a little consultation gig for like $2,000 a month. That's all I'm making. I'm basically like breaking even every month and living at home. And I'm going to the Verizon store and I'm telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, I know what I want to do next, but I just spent 4 years grinding to almost get to this top, almost get to everything that I've always wanted, and it didn't happen the way I wanted to, and I was so exhausted. Like the idea of reclimbing that mountain, it was this like, I was like, that feeling of being defeated was still there. It was like, oh, I know what I want to do, but I'm just like, dude, this is hard, man. Like, this is really hard. And it was, and looking back on it, the reason I felt that way is because I believed that I had to do it the same way I did it before. Ooh. I believed it had to be this miserable grind, you know? And that's where some of the, truthfully, like, that period of my life was way more personal growth than it was professional. Yeah. Like, I sat down, dude, and I basically, like, I mean, I exited myself from Venice Beach, California, Plymouth, Minnesota, cut out caffeine for a year, alcohol for a year, stopped smoking weed, stopped watching porn. I cut out any vice, and literally I cried for like 40 days straight. And I was just sitting there, and I just was like, I need to let all of this actually flow out of me so I can get still and clear and reconnect to the infinite source of wisdom. You know, whether you believe in God, universe, science, religion, anything will tell you, when you get in stillness, that's where the answers are. Transcendental meditation, stillness, answers. Prayer, stillness. Stillness is where these answers come to us. And I knew that my brain was not still and my emotions and my heart were not still. And so it was during that journey that I realized that it was the ego in me that wanted to go back to LA and be this cool guy in the big city. But when I thought about it, when I got still, I was like, dude, the whole reason that you wanted to start Dreamer State University, a school for dreamers, dreamology, is because you wanted to give back to that student, that kid that didn't have these conversations. And as I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, well, what does that look like? I have a million ideas, right? Retreats and a million things you could do. And I'm sitting there and I'm reading this book called Mastery by Robert Greene. And he's like, what's the craft you want to master? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it's storytelling. Yeah. And then it just presented itself, speaking at schools. And then my buddy was like, dude, what if you give a speech in every state? And then, boom, 50 speeches, 50 states, May of 2024. And then it was like, vroom, this is it. But that was after basically a year of intense grieving. Like it wasn't just, like I know in speeches, you tell it where it's like this 2-minute story and then it goes to it's like, dude, that was a year of grieving, a year of nothing. And then even when I launched the challenge, it was another 6 months of nothing. Zero booked gigs, thousands of emails, you know, praying, somebody please, you know, I promise you, have you ever spoken at a school? No. Well, no, I don't have experience doing it. Yep. And so it was really 18 months of nothing.
Of rejection.
Of nothing. And then there was the first school. And then there was the...
Yeah.
And but dude, like I was, no joke, laying in bed last night crying, thinking, I can't believe like yesterday was the 41st school I've been to, 16 states. And I'm thinking about all this and I'm like, dude, a year ago, today, I was living in my parents' house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a deep, profound lesson there that I hope everybody catches, is that you don't have to run around in panic mode when things do not work out for you. Sometimes there's a saying, you can only see your face in still water. You know, so it's you slow down and you can see who you are. Dude. Release everything that you're holding on to, receive revelation.
When we rush, we're in a state of fear, right?
Yeah,
we're in a state of fear. We're like, I got it. But it was funny, in that era, I did the least, but I was like, even in my lowest moments, I would remember like, dude, just take a step every day. Mm-hmm. Even if that step is like 15 minutes. Yep. Like I'm gonna write for 15 minutes. But those like small little steps started to compound where it felt like nothing. And then eventually starts to domino. But I now, like if I ever feel rushed now, that's one of my biggest things. Like if you feel rushed, you are not operating on a faith. Ooh. You're operating on a fear.
Ooh, I like that.
Whenever you feel rushed.
Yeah.
Because where are you trying to get to?
Yeah.
The only place to be is here. Look at us, bro.
Yeah.
Look at what we're doing. You're living your dream. You guys are filming. Like, dude, where are we trying to get to? I'm sure we all have goals in this room. Right? But dude, the future never exists, bro. Like, I'm so passionate about this concept, man. It's always future. But like, dude, look at where we are, man. Like, take a breath. It's a miracle, dude.
Yeah.
Life is a miracle. Coffee, it's all a miracle. So like, be in the moment. Don't be rushed and just take it one step at a time. And that, honestly, I think unlocked more blessings than anything has ever unlocked in my life.
No matter how much you think about the future,
fucking fired up right
you
now.
Can't physically go there, Timmy.
Can't go there.
No matter how much you think about the past, you cannot physically go there. That means that the only time that exists is right here, right now. So if you mentally live in the future and the past all the time, you're missing out on everything. And I think, and you can do that for years at a time. And I think maybe you did that for 3 years when everything was go, projections, right? And you missed out on the present moment.
For sure.
For years.
For sure.
And then it all caught up to you in your parents' house.
Yeah.
And it hit you like a wave of emotions that you hadn't felt in 3 years. Things that you smoked away, that you drank away, that you know what I'm saying?
Everything.
Everything. It just crashed on you. and you had that real panic attack. It was like, oh, back here again, square one.
Back
Gotta
in
start again
house.
in the same place, triggered, same place. It was all a part of that, dude. But for a reason, because you have a profound ability now to be present and also bring people with you into the present moment. In that moment right there, I was thinking about how to segue into the next question. You made me stop that. You pulled me back into the moment with a breath, right? Everybody here that was listening, trying to learn or whatever, do their camera stuff, brought everybody back to the present moment. Now we're here. Everybody feels a little less stressed now because of that, you know? And that's important. That's a superpower. That's a superpower. And if you can teach kids how to do that at a young age, then what they can do is they can choose a better response. And that changes their reality. I tell kids all the time, the one thing that nobody will ever be able to take away from us is our ability to respond the way that we choose. But when you respond out of emotion because you're so operating out of lack and all the things that we just talked about, then your emotions just drag you around. You don't even know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, you don't have an aim. That means you don't have goals. That means you don't have steps. That means you can't plan. And positive emotions are tied to planning. So kids that don't plan, they have no positive emotion. They don't think it's possible for them, right? And so when you're working with these kids, man, and you're having them close their eyes and visualize something and then write it down, they're planning. They feel the dopamine spike, they feel the endorphins, they start to believe it's possible, and when they believe in it, they get excited, and excitement is the energy that manifests things, that makes things happen. But excitement is also the same feeling as anxiety. It just depends on your perspective of it. They both come from uncertainty. You don't know what's gonna happen, you could either be excited or scared. But when you're present, that's you choosing the excitement. I'm gonna be here for it no matter what happens, because it's just great as it is. This coffee, amazing. And I'm excited about the smallest things in life because I'm what? Here today. I'm alive. 1 in 400 trillion chance that you're
Come on, Joey! Come on, baby! Woo!
This is what happens when you get two motivational speakers.
I'm fired up, man. Let's run through a wall.
Sorry. You're at the point of your story of rebuilding your dream. And you're here now, like in the middle of it. You're on the tour right now.
Drove 5 hours to get here this morning,
doing
baby.
it right now. So I just want to know how that feels.
Dude, I mean, before I came in here, we're sitting in the parking lot, thinking that we're gonna get kicked out because we got the tour van, we got the door open. I'm making a coffee. We're eating wraps. You know, my shirt's off. I'm getting a little bit of sun because we've been in freezing cold Minnesota. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, this is the dream. Like, look at us. We're in a tour van. Dylan, my videographer, wherever he's at, legend. Like, we're about to come in and be with you guys, amazing human beings who are also dreamers. It's like, here's what I'll say. It's amazing, and I'm also not naive anymore to the fact that it doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean that all of your life's issues go away. I think my first run with Charlie, you think when you get success, all of a sudden, like, you're above the laws of human emotion and you just won't experience sadness or anger or grief or fear. And I realize that it's kind of just the opposite. The more successful you get, sometimes there's more problems, there's more challenges, there's more people that want your attention. And I met a lot of, billionaire celebrities who were miserable. I remember the day I walked into MGK's dressing room at a show. It's me, Charlie, Irv, MGK, Sam, the guy who made his Hulu doc, and then this Michaela girl, a girl we were helping who was battling homelessness. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, he is miserable. In so many of those moments where I realized, like, dude, success does not mean that all of your life's issues go away. And I think sometimes when we want that, we think, I'll get to the mountaintop and it'll all be good. Then you're disappointed. Then you can't enjoy it because you're like, oh, but why is there still this, like, why are me and my friends still fighting? Or why am I still overweight? Or why can I not get a hold on this mental health thing? And I'm realizing now, like, there's going to be darkness in the light and light in the darkness. And if you can accept that and learn to navigate both those things, you can just enjoy the mountaintop more while you are simultaneously still working on your other things. I'm still working on being a better brother to my brother. I'm still working on my mental health journey. I'm working on my spiritual journey. I'm working on my body. I'm working on my relationships and I'm still working on all these things because my purpose isn't just the work. It's all of it.
Yeah.
And that has, I think, unlocked, again, a new layer of existence for me of being like, my purpose isn't what I do, it's who I am.
Yep.
And therefore, everything in my life is meaningful, no matter what it is. And that's just, it's opened up a new way of operating. So I think that's allowed me to be more grateful.
Yeah.
And not sit here and be like, oh man, this is great, but it wasn't what I thought it'd be. You know, how many people say that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, yeah, because
everyone.
you thought it would be perfect. This freaking rainbow, sunshine.
Well, because you spent so much time
Fantasy
visualizing
land.
what you thought it was going to be, and every time that it was wrong, you thought you were wrong.
Yeah.
You thought you had to, something's wrong with me, something's wrong with me, something must be wrong with me. It's like, no, this is life, man. The process of becoming is very rough. And so now you're here, man, and be grateful because that'll multiply it. That's what it is.
Facts.
I hate that we have to end this pretty soon, but I do want you to do something I ask all my guests to do, and that's to speak to the camera, speak to the audience, and tell them something that they could do today to better their life. Because they just heard a big story from you, and they're thinking about all these different things that they need to do or haven't done, or, oh, I do that, and I need to change this about myself and all these things, and they might be overwhelmed, right? And so I want you to look at them and just be like, today, if you could start small, if there's one thing that you could start doing, as soon as you get done with this video, do this.
Yeah. It's the most basic, simple thing. But literally last week, I'll turn to the camera. Last week, I'm walking around and we're filming stranger content because we give somebody $1,000 to pursue their dream. There's this woman who had this vision of starting a nonprofit to serve underprivileged, at-risk youth. And I bump into her, we have a conversation, give her $1,000. It's not much, right? But she was like, I've had this idea for 15 years. I'm gonna start today.
Yeah.
She sends me a text, okay, I'm putting together the first thing. I'm like, there's never gonna be just like this moment when it's like, now is the right time. Someday I'll do, like you just have to decide at one point in your heart, like, I'm starting today.
Yeah.
So anybody watching this, you got a dream, you got a goal, you probably have something you want to do with your life. Take out a piece of paper, write the dream down, and literally just write down 3 to 5 action steps. Like and I'm talking about like the tiniest things. We say what? Big dreams start with small actions, right? Like the tiniest things. But just start. And then when you finish those 5 things, make another 5 things. And don't overcomplicate it. It doesn't need to be this rocket science thing. Like people make chasing a dream so complicated. Well, what about my brand? What about, dude, who cares? I launched a speaking career without a website. It doesn't matter. Like nobody actually cares. People want to see you win because of your story and what you are and who you, like what you stand for. They don't care about nobody cares about how fancy your stuff looks anymore. They want real, they want raw. So write your dreams down, make a couple action steps, and maybe that first action step is just recording a video. This is what I want to do. Here's who I am. Here's what I care about. And then text your 5 favorite people in your life and tell them. And say, I want you guys to support me, hold me accountable. And then just go. The journey will have the answers for you. That's it. The journey will have the answers for you. Just commit to the process of chasing the dream, okay? All right, you listening to me? Just start, man. Just freaking start. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Look, people don't want to learn from someone who's perfect. That person doesn't exist. They want to learn from somebody who is honest about dealing with their imperfections. Authenticity wins. And honestly, dude, that's why I love you so much, to be honest. It's just an authentic person that I feel like I can relate to, human to human.
I've felt your support since day one, Joey's support since day one, Braxton, and we all know it's reciprocated. You text me, Timmy, can we do this thing for it? Yeah, let's do it. Hey, and that's the energy we need, man. And I was at a school the other day, and I was literally came out of the speech, and I was pissed off. Like I was pissed. I went into the weight room by myself at this gym down the road. I'm the only one in the gym, and I start speaking out loud because there was this kid that came up to me, and he's a high school kid. His eyes are at his shoes.
Yeah.
And he's like whispering to me. He's like, my parents got divorced when I was 2 years old. My grandparents have passed away. My uncle has passed away. He's like, I've lost the majority of the people that I care about in my life. And he's starting to just cry, right? Hasn't looked at me once, straight to the shoes. And he's like, I have a dream, but like, I'm whispering because I know my friends will make fun of me. It's like, I want to be a content creator. And I'm listening to this, and I'm like, dude, after all this kid has been through, he's afraid to share his dreams because his own friends are going to make fun of him. And I'm like, dude, why do we do this, man? Like, I'm sitting there like, why do we do this as human beings? Not just kids, adults, man. We just tear each other's dreams down. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, why do we do it? Well, we probably do it because of this insecurity inside of us. When somebody else says, I'm going to pursue a dream, it makes me feel like, ooh, there's a fear inside of me to do that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bring this person back down to my level so I feel better about myself. Right. But then I realized, well, what if we did the opposite? Yeah. What if Jared had this big dream, and instead of trying to bring him down, what if I got inspired? What if I was like, you know what, man, let me dream next to you. Let me share my dream. Let me go after it. Let me support you. Let me see how you can support me. And all of a sudden, I'm like, yo, we're dreaming together. Isn't that the point of like a friendship, bro? Like to support each other and be there for each other. And like imagine that world. Like I'd want to live in a world where we encourage each other, our friends, our family, the people in our life to pursue their purpose and their passion and their gifts. Yep. Wouldn't that be an incredible world?
What did I tell you when we talked on the phone the other day? I said, I literally believe that you will change this entire industry. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I mean, you can look into my eyes and say that I believe that. I talk to Joe about it all the time. It's like, Timmy's different. I've coached hundreds of speakers. We've coached hundreds of speakers. I truly believe in what you're doing because of your heart, not because of the content or the, you know what I'm saying? Not because of all those things. It's just because of your heart. And I believe that God has his hand on your mission. Period. Dude. When I'm looking for mentors in life or people that I'm a partner with and stuff like that, I told one of the kids that I mentor, Nolan, I've told you about him, I told him, I said, if you ever feel like I'm holding you back because I don't want you to go above me, find a new mentor. I mean, you need to check me first of all.
Yeah.
Like, hey, please check me and tell me that so I can get a hold of my own ego. But seriously, like true mentors and mentorships and partnerships and friends and things like that, collaboration is about lifting each other up. For the highest possible good, the best possible outcome, man, the win-win scenarios. And the way I see it, if you're out there changing kids' lives, literally saving kids' lives, like that's my mission. That's my mission. You know what I'm saying? So why would I stop you? There's so much out there. There's so many kids that need help. There's so much problems in the world that if people are willing to solve them, why not equip those people if you have the answers, man?
Versus like, I'm going to change
I think it's actually the most selfish thing that you could do is not help somebody that's on the exact same path as you, that's trying to achieve the same goal. If you truly care about the goal.
It shows you ain't about it,
If you truly cared about the goal, if you don't care about the goal and your goal was actually just to be better than everybody else, then that's your true goal. That's your true goal. You're not really trying to save kids' lives. You see what I'm saying? Dude.
Support the homies, man. Support the homies. Put that on a t-shirt, bro.
That's how I feel about you too, Josiah. I told him that yesterday. I said, you know why I work with you? I don't work with you because you're good at what you do. You're good at what you do. I work with you because I love you, dude. I love your heart. Like, I think you're funny. I think you're hilarious. I think you're driven. I think you're all these things. And like, these are the people I want to work with. I don't care if there's somebody that's better or got a camera better or this or that. I don't care, dude. We'll grow together. We'll all grow together. You'll make me better. I'll make you better.
Let's cry together.
Let's cry together.
Hey, man. Real men cry.
So, hey, everybody watching, you got to just get started, but also you got to surround yourself by the right people, and you got to be honest about your circle. If there's some people there that are trying to hold you down just because they're insecure about themselves, it doesn't mean you have to hate them. It doesn't mean you could wish them the best, man, but you do need to distance yourself a little bit from them so that way you can get on your correct path and stay there, for sure. So everybody that's watching, man, Timmy, can you tell them where they can find you, how they can support you? I know he's growing a channel right now on Instagram. Definitely supports. There's sponsorship support for him. He's traveling across the country in his van. We definitely need to get some help that way. You're going to do it. You're working with big people already. But everybody watching this right now, go follow Timmy the Dreamer on Instagram. Yep.
That's the spot.
That's
it. Perfect. Yeah. And listen, that's it, man. I don't want anything from you guys, honestly. I want you to just go tell your friends you believe in them. Give me a follow. You'll see all the stuff there. If you got a school or a brand, hit me up. But go tell your friends you believe in them.